good morning, good welcome, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be listening to this or watching this from the world. Welcome
Welcome
to Airborne Sea Life.
I like that's a question. That's like,
Yes.
are you not sure where we are? Because I could get some cue cards for you if you want.
You know, a wise philosopher once said, it was the best of times, and it was the durst of times. Welcome to the Airborne Sea Life podcast, where we talk about all things fun, all things metal, all things music, and most things metal for this part. Nowadays, we do a lot of reactions anyway. My name is Yusuf Rashid. That's Brendan. Manuel's not here because he went to go overthrow Croatia.
Yep, he enlisted the assistance of the X-Men, and they are currently storming the gates as we speak.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all knew, actually. Manuel is going to be playing Doctor Doom in the Avengers movies. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. was actually just a ploy. Manuel could make a great Doctor Doom.
I could see that, but my question then was going to become, would that be the implicit... I was going to ask if that is the implicit idea that Manuel was, in fact, secretly Robert Downey Jr., or like there was maybe some kind of like Incredible Hulk situation where he gets really, really mellow. He just turns into Manuel. Like, I don't know. Or like, what would the implications of him being this? Or is he just replacing RBJ?
Those are things that are outside of our pay grade to answer, so we're not gonna answer them.
Oh my goodness.
Great.
But anyway, he will not be joining us today, so we're just gonna keep ourselves entertained, aren't we, Yusuf?
Yeah, we are.
We're gonna do our best, and I think I have some news that'll help us do that pretty good today.
Okay, what do we got?
Well, the news just came out a couple days ago on Metal Injection. It would appear Tool appears to be working on new material right now. Or Justin Chancellor is taking his bassist on a new vacation.
Sorry, did you say Tool?
Tool, yes.
Working on new music.
Potentially. So, let's get the context, and then we'll extrapolate our wild theories as we go. So, according to the article, Tool may very well be working on new music, or at least that's what bassist Justin Chancellor seems to be implying. Chancellor posted a video of his two basses in cases on Instagram with the caption "Vacation is over" earlier today, which all by itself means nothing until you remember that Chancellor told Metal Hammer earlier this year that Tool would be resuming working on new music when they wrapped up their European live dates. Those ended June 27th, and here we are. So there could be some new Tool material coming out. Would you like to make some wild speculations?
Sure. How long did it take between the last two Tool albums?
I don't know. Let's see if we could get some.
It's more than 10 years.
Okay, let's get the actual timeline here.
It's like somewhere between 8 and like 12 years or something shit like that. Between 10,000 Days and whatever the last album, I can't remember the name of the last album. Orifice? That's not what it's called.
That is a name.
that would be a Tool album name.
Okay. So, I want to say there was, I think,
because they had a new album come out a couple years ago.
I think the new was okay. According to Google, according to the timeline specifically.
Yes, the sacred timeline, the one that Manuel's trying to destroy.
Thank you, Kang the Replaced. I think Fear Inoculum came out in 2019. Is that the closest one we're looking at here?
Did it really come out in 2019?
According to Google, yes, it was 2019. So it wasn't remarkably a long time period since the last album.
Yeah, but that was also pre-pandemic. So it feels like it was forever ago at this point. That was 5 years ago. That's nuts. Yeah, that was their last album.
Yeah, it's a little it's a little jumbled here. Let me see if I can't get like a more like laid out. I think Fear Inoculum is the last one. I think that was 2019. So I do think it wasn't like 10 years. It's getting closer. It's been a
13
little bit of
years.
time. It's been a little time.
Oh, no, I meant between the last two Tool albums, not this coming one, whenever that is.
Okay, so...
That's 13 years. 10,000 Days came out in 2006. Fear Inoculum came out in 2019.
Okay.
13 years.
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. My point
So it's not so much when the last one came out. It's more like between the two releases is what you're saying. About to say, is your math wrong? Because that sounds wrong. But... This is an unprecedented release then, isn't it?
I mean, if they actually have this album out, well, if they're starting to write now, it's 2024. By the time they actually get everything done, record everything, get everything produced, get everything mixed, it'll be... three presidential elections from now, not counting this upcoming one.
I was just going to start naming future technologies. Like maybe we'll get like Geordi Reforge like glasses from Star Trek. Maybe we'll get some more fancy toys by the time. Maybe technology is going to advance to a point, or you'll probably be able to stream the album via the Neuralink that you'll have purchased from Walmart.
You know what sucks is that's truly like a sentence an American could say, and you could be like, "Yeah, that sounds about right." Like, never mind the Neuralink thing, that from Walmart.
But that's the thing, though. Like, there's a point where technology just becomes available enough. Where, like, okay, like when you really think about it, like 100 or so years ago, the light bulb was a modern miracle. Now you can buy one anywhere. Getting a music listening device like a Walkman or like an iPod was a separate device from your phone, and now it's just all in the one device. The point is, inevitably, you're going to get something where you could start listening to your blast beats inside of your own brain that you could probably buy at a gas station. And it's just going to be what we do. It's not going to be crazy. It's just going to be what we do.
You're telling me that when this album eventually, inevitably comes out in like 10 years or something, knowing Tool it's going to take that long, I will be able to think the album through the Neuralink, listen to it in my own mind while using the Apple Vision Pro 8 at that point, or whatever they're going to call it, the Apple Vision Quest, inside of my Tesla Model.
I don't know what are we even up to with Tesla?
Gamma.
I mean, it'll probably be something where it'll be a very meta.
How has he not made a Tesla Model E yet?
It'll be a very
limp Elon.
It'll be a very meta Limp Bizkit inter-narrative for you. You'll be able to think about Fred Durst while having the thoughts next to the music playing in your mind.
Dude, at that point, Fred Durst is going to somehow become CEO of Tesla.
Or like, what if hacking the Neuralinks in your brain was like a normal occurrence, and then like you got possessed by Fred Durst through the internet? Like his consciousness accidentally got emailed to you.
I don't.
You just become Fred Durst.
I don't wish that upon anybody. Are you kidding me? I do not wish being possessed by Fred Durst upon not even my worst enemies.
Oh my goodness!
Like imagine like one of your close Manuel. He's not here, so we're gonna use him as the example. Imagine one day we hear from like his girlfriend that, oh, Manuel got possessed by a spooky ghost. We're trying to figure this out. Okay. The next day we hear he's fine. Cool. So we see Manuel. And for some reason, Manuel rolls up in a basketball jersey, shorts, and a red snapback. And he only speaks in Fred Durstisms. Would that not be concerning?
It would. There would be a couple of red flags in addition.
Yeah,
to
like the hat. Yeah.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong, but like again, we're not talking about him being possessed by the ghost of Fred Durst. We're talking about him accidentally having Fred
Whoa, whoa,
Durst's
whoa, 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 whoa,
consciousness
whoa, whoa, whoa,
downloaded
whoa, whoa, whoa,
via
whoa,
the
whoa,
internet.
whoa, 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 whoa. Who said anything about ghosts? Fred Durst can't die.
It makes me think about that episode of American Dad where Jeff Fisher just literally becomes Guy Fieri because in the show's episode he's literally some kind of ancient Sumerian demon of Flavor Town, and he was born from the mango habanero salsa pits, and he just starts morphing into Guy Fieri. Like he gets the hair, he gets a goatee, he starts like it just becomes him. He's not like possessed. He just imbues the spirit that is the metaphysical entity that is Guy Fieri. And I think that's part of what could be happening here.
This conversation was about Tool.
It was about Tool. Okay, so let's get back on it. What could we expect, you think, from a new Tool album? Like, what do you think? What could we possibly be seeing?
What insane astrological thing has happened recently that they could make an entire album about? That's kind of Tool's whole shtick, right? Like, it's like they're gonna make an album about the Zodiac Killer or something.
I mean, first off, this album is going to take as long as it takes to perform all the necessary rituals to get Maynard James Keenan to do anything. You know, like he needs to
never.
I mean, it's going to take the time it's going to take before he feels that everything is perfect.
Well, yeah, but also, like, apparently there's supposed to be his side project, A Perfect Circle. Apparently they're doing something too, so, like, make up your fucking mind, bro.
But that's the thing. When you're Maynard James Keenan, you don't have to make up anything. You just have to, like...
You can do whatever the hell you want, eh?
You just have to decide what type of mohawk you want today. Get out of bed. Think about, I don't know, just think about very obscure star charts, probably from the 1700s, that you could make into a song, and you'll be fine. You don't...
They should go the Guns N' Roses route.
What, wait like 30 years to release an album they had been promising and then underdeliver the album?
Yeah, and the album has to be named something like unbelievably ridiculous. Like how Guns N' Roses, like 30 years after released the infamous Chinese Democracy in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
They need something like just like
ostentatious, maybe
North Korean
trapezoids.
Patriarchy. Oh,
the patriarchy of North Korean trapezoids.
Yeah, that could be a Tool album somehow.
But it's gonna be like a single mononym of some nonsense, like breath. It's gonna be something esoteric and like needlessly pretentious that'll just go into the album.
Yeah, like teeth. Or
yeah, it could be just teeth.
It could be just teeth. It could be like
eyes.
Circle
tooth.
Like they have a whole song that like rhythmically revolves around the Fibonacci sequence. Like, come on, they're gonna do something ridiculous.
It'll be needlessly elaborate, and it will be something that I don't know. The fans are going to insist that it was worth the several decades it took to release the album.
Yeah, and that's when it will probably be out in several decades. It's 2024. It will probably be out, as I said, in not counting this upcoming one, 3 presidential elections from now.
I mean,
probably about 12 years, right? So
all I know is that by the time it comes out, it's going to be where Maynard James Keenan is going to be like in Warhammer, where like he's entombed on like some kind of esoteric life support system. It's going to be like something where like he can float around like using cables. And I don't know, it's going to be something very specific, but it's going to be so very Maynard James Keenan that it's going to be worth the wait just to see what he goes into at that time.
You think if you know what? Not gonna say what I was gonna say. Never mind. Let's keep going. Let's just move past this. This is getting to be a little too much.
Yeah, we're gonna be here all day if we keep talking about the nonsense that could come out of Tool. So we're reacting to something very special today, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah.
You want to tell
Which
them a little bit about the rather fortuitous melding of things today?
Yeah, so we've done reaction videos for Band Maid, and we've done reaction videos for The Warning, and those two bands have now teamed up on something, and I don't know what. And it's a single, and I'm kind of excited to hear whatever the hell this is, and we're gonna react to it as we
It's
usually
just
do here.
it's just such a just the timing of this video releasing was just so on point for what we do that like we kind of have to
I mean,
like we
wow,
just
Brendan, thanks for just pulling the curtain, fucking Wizard of Oz style. Like, oh, it's the man behind the curtain. It's a dog. It wasn't
imagine if
actually
it
a
was a
dog.
dog though.
I mean, yeah.
What if each of us were just separate like three-tiered dogs and like a trench coat standing on top of another dog?
So long as I am a Samoyed, I'm sure.
But the
I
last
love
dog just has
Samoyeds.
heads of human beings on top.
Ugh. It's like a half human Cerberus, basically. We're
Let's get to the song.
right. So Band Maid and The Warning collabed on a single together. It is called Show Them. We're gonna do some reaction stuff, and we're gonna have fun. Cool.
Let's
cool.
have some fun.
Yeah.
I like fun. Too bad. Let's get a pause in and let's start picking.
This is groovy. This is like kind of not what I was expecting, but kind of what I was expecting. Like,
yeah, it's like it's
nice.
both very on brand, but takes you off guard. I like it so far.
Kind of. I mean, like the thing I gather like just from the get go is like very bouncy, very what's the word I'm looking for? Not floaty. It's definitely there's a word we use, static. To describe how just like the time feel of it is. I mean, it's in 4. Like, there's nothing. This isn't anything like technical or anything crazy. I kind of wish Manuel was here, but yeah, it's cute. It's fun. It's very. It's a shit. Let me use my words here. It's a proper blend of the two.
Yeah, because I'm liking also in the construction of the video too, where like you've got people facing each other from the not opposing bands, but like I like how it's almost like this kind of battle of the bands kind of feel where they're going up against each other visually. It's like I like I think you're right. I think that's the best way to describe it. This is a song that was put together to play to both of their strengths, and it's so far so good. We're like you said, we're not really seeing anything remarkably complicated here, but I don't really know if that's the point.
It really isn't. I don't think so.
I think really the point thus far is it is a melding of two very beloved bands, which like when that happens, it's just a good day. Like I think back to I don't want to say the 80s. I think it was like late 80s, early 90s where Public Enemy and Anthrax did a collaboration. And
I forgot about that.
But like,
yeah,
that song hit hard when it came out, man. And there's even times
also,
where,
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I get what you mean, though. I do get what you mean.
Sometimes you just need a nice, tasty fusion. But why don't we let's keep the ball rolling, I guess.
Aha, you said the word.
Demons.
I'm done with playing nice at games that try to change me. Better bet I am the one who throws the dice. Win or lose, it's all on me. I get to choose my victory. It's my life, I hold that kiss. No more waiting, stand up, take it. Right now, going against the plan, show the world you can always shine brighter. When you take a stand and you know you can always fly higher. I'm here, go show them all now.
Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah, fun little doing it.
Going against the plan, show the world you can always shine brighter. When you take a stand and you know you can always fly higher. I'm here, scream out what you want. There's no point in hiding to fake it. You know who you are, let them know that they'll have to take it. I'm here, go show them all now.
I think we're good for another
Interesting
pause right
ending.
there. Oh, is it already
Well,
just over?
That's the end of the song. It's only.
Oh,
it's
well
not
then,
long,
all
no.
right. That's the perfect
It's the end of
place
the
to
song.
stop for a
I kind of
second.
want to. There's okay. So I.
Let's break some stuff
Interesting.
down because there were a couple more elements that came up that I think we're going to go over a little bit.
Well, I mean, something I quickly want to talk about is like, I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I was looking at the lyrics and I'm like, this is like a very positive song about like, it's like the power of friendship and like showing people what you're made of and that shit. And I for some reason, damn it, Manuel needed to be here for this one.
It's okay.
We were-
Pretend I'm him. Just pretend I know things about music and have a big old Berkeley
It's not even that. It's not
brain.
even. No. It has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with that. It has to do with a trip we took with the band once. Actually, it was this last trip we took with Necronomicon. We were listening to like hardcore music in the car on the way to recording one day, and our main guitar player and songwriter Michael was like, when you think about it, hardcore music is just really angry, positive music. And I'm like, what? And he goes, here, listen. So we started playing. I can't remember what fucking band, but all the lyrics are just like, if you're feeling down, go, like do all these things, show the world that you mean something to them. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you got a good point. It's just nothing. It's just angry positivity. Like, this is how it feels. It's not the angry part, but it's just like very positive.
You know what? There's I gotta remember. I don't remember if it's like Arabic or like Indian or something, but there's like a metal band where
I am
like
both those things, if that counts.
well, you know what? That's true. But there's like a very specific. If you know it in the comments, please remind me because I'm drawing a bit of a blank here. But there's a very specific metal band where there's a song they sing about just resisting the mental struggles of depression, and it talks about how you are like the strong one, like you should never give up, keep fighting, and it's just this really good like metal track, but like this really positive like mental health message they want to put into it. And I really appreciate like really positive heavy music. You don't have to like there's no real intrinsic need for music to be angry and dark and abysmal. You could be angry and positive. So like sometimes Lewis Black, maybe, I don't know, like the musical version of Lewis Black. He gets angry about things that make him sad, but then he wants them to change. And I guess that's what this is basically.
I did not think in the year of our Lord. No, seriously, I did not think in the year of our Lord 2024 on a podcast / reaction channel about music, we were going to get a reference to one of my favorite comedians of all time, the root of all evil himself, Lewis Black.
He is fantastic. But I think you also get the point.
Yeah, I do. Looks angry is not angry. Kind of like Bill Burr now.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily compare the two of them. They're not a perfect one-to-one, but I can see what you're saying.
No, they're not. But it's the way of like, looks like something really represents something a little different. Yeah, I get what you mean. Lewis Black is a good example. I love Lewis Black. Anyway,
so, let's get to some of the things that came out. Like, let's talk a little bit about that. Like, they had some really good, tasty bass walking in that.
Well, yeah, it's just bass solo. It's not really walking, but yeah, if we're getting technical, now my music brain is coming out. Brandon, don't do this to me.
Then throw it down, man. What do you got?
Okay, so it's where do I start? I think
probably the beginning. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we've broken Yusuf, which means I win.
Joke's on you. I've been broken.
You can't break if you're already broken inside.
You can't break if you're already broken, Brendan. You see, I was born in the darkness. Hold it.
Easy there, Bane in my backside. Come on. Let's get into the technical analysis.
Who's Bane? No. I'm...
Oh, God, he's doing...
Anyway. Imagine if Heath Ledger played Bane. Okay.
Early 2000s, they want their joke back.
That was the late 2000s.
It was the late 2000s. You know what I mean.
Anyway, so just from, like, talking about, like, instruments, it's I figured as much they would do, like a trading of some kind of, like, solos. So, yeah, like, you have your bass solos, you get your guitar solos, you get your drum solos. It's really fun. Right, it's fun when those happen. Yeah, the other thing too is I don't know if you noticed this, but it's cool to hear the production in that moment when everything's happening, and just how different each of them are sounding. Like, yeah, they're different players, they're like different instruments you're using and everything like that. But it's like, I'm glad they did that. You know, they like had individual like sound, like individual tones basically for everyone. Because like if you hear, where is it? Yeah. Yeah,
like it's a nice overlapping harmony.
Well, overlapping harmony, yeah, but also just like the way that the mix was handled is what I'm getting at. The way the mix was handled and like how different everything sounds, so you know it's like one person than the other.
Yeah, like it's very distinctive on each element of it, but it blends. It's done so in a way like a good painting. Where, like, there's ways to incorporate not drastically different sounds, but very different deliveries of sound into one piece and make it feel like it belongs there. And they've done that very well here. These are two completely different bands in how they like to deliver music, but they blended their styles together so unbelievably well in this song. And
I mean, they're not necessarily very different bands, right? Like, it's not too difficult to put two and two together like this. And it's fun when you do. This is why I brought it up earlier. It's like, I don't know. If Manny was here, I think he'd probably say the same thing, or he'd have some like Neil deGrasse Tyson-esque answer about this. But the way I like to look at music nowadays is just like I like to look at tonal ideas as color. Right? You're constantly mixing colors together to get something new, and like the way you mix these two bands together, and they're not the most different tonally, but what happens is you mix the two colors together and you get something, not similar, but you get a nice blended tone of the two.
Yeah, like the mid-range color of those two. I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
No. I understand completely what you're saying. They're basically meeting this homogeneous blending of two similarly kind of toned kind of things, and to create something new, and it makes something really, really nice. Like, side note, I actually did remember the name of that band. The band I was talking about earlier is named Bloodywood, and they have a very distinct...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're Indian.
They are a New Delhi metal band, and they are all about getting people... a big fan of that. You know, they're about getting people mental health. I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It just was driving me crazy. Really wanted to get that name. Wanted to leave on a note where we got that name out there. They are a great band. Maybe we do a video about them one day. I don't know. If you guys want to see that video, throw that in the comments too and let us know. But back to the task at hand. What did we like about the song? What do we not like about the song?
I mean, my whole thing that I do like. Oh, hold on. I think at the end of the day, it's like, how do I put this? It's fun.
It is fun.
That's kind of where like I've gone through most of my points already.
I think the point of it is that it's very much like a sunset. There's not a lot of technical complexity here. All that's really happening is the sun is going down the horizon, but it lacks in complexity. It's just very beautiful, you know?
That's the thing. Like, not everything's got to be technical, and these two bands are not. Like, okay, I have to specify this because the word technical can be used so many different ways. They are both great bands. They are very, very good bands. They're awesome. You know, when the word technical gets thrown out there, sometimes people like to misconstrue, and they're like, "Oh, you said technical, but there's no changing time signatures or shreddy, wheedly sounds or shit." Yeah, no, that doesn't. Not everything needs that.
Yeah, a song
could
get
good example, right? So
music can get bloated when unnecessary elements are thrown into it, and I think this is just the right amount of what we're looking for here. I mean, it's just a fun song with two very fun bands that clearly have a lot of love behind their fans, and this is something that we love to see on the podcast. And it's just really, again, it's just such a cool. Like, when we saw that this was something that was happening, we're like, there's no way that we can't, like, touch base on this. This is exactly our wheelhouse right here. Honestly, I just love the back and forth in this song. Like, going back and forth between the two vocal ranges. Like, even right here in the visual here, just, like, these two drums facing each other. And I want to refresh what I said. It's not necessarily a battle of bands kind of thing. This is a shaking of hands musically. This is
I wouldn't consider it a battle of the bands kind of thing, because like even I'm not gonna play it.
It was more I lacked the right term at the time to describe what I was interpreting from it.
Yeah,
this is a meeting of the minds of music right here, is what I think is more accurately.
Yeah, and this is what I find fun is that, well, granted, Band Maid has what is it? A whole extra member than, well, actually, two than The Warning does. But it's fun how they're split up, right? Like Band Maid on one side, The Warning on one side. It doesn't really feel like it's one against the other. It's like they're just, it's a working together type thing.
Yeah, this is standing united is what I really should have clarified as.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. This is why I call it a collaboration more than a feature. Right?
I'd say this is a mosaic of music, where every piece, while slightly different, all blends together to make a beautiful whole of one song.
A mosaic is a great word to use to describe this. However, I know in most cases you can't use mosaic to describe. Like you ever hear when you ever think about Kanye West mosaic T-Pain? No, you know what I mean. But from a bigger picture standpoint, mosaic, yes. So I do agree with you there.
You're correct. I think most of the fans of either of these bands want Kanye West as far away from them as possible, though. That is
Well,
my
mind you,
interpretation of it.
I'm referencing 2007 Kanye West before he went crazy.
I mean, still, the band's radioactive now. We can't, like, I imagine, like, okay, you name one band today that you would want to collaborate with Kanye West.
Tool.
I don't know. Would that be something?
I'm not serious about that at all.
I was like, for a second, I was like, I could theoretically see it, but I was like, no. There's no way that would be a good idea.
No. No one should be in this day and age, but you know what? We're not talking about Kanye.
No, we're not.
Yeah, no, fun song. I think just like it's just fun. That's really it, right? It's bouncy. It's very rock and roll. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of all I got. I think like I touched up on production stuff, the video stuff. Yeah.
I think I've said most of what I need to say about it. It's just like it's the song equivalent of a beautiful sunny sunset, and you don't need to break everything apart. It's just everything just works together. The atmosphere was just right. The way the chemistry is working between the bandmates, the bands are just perfect. It just makes something beautiful. It just makes something that is a good experience, and this is a good song. Good song is good. That's the official Airborne Sea Life takeaway, I think. I mean, it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. What do we think, Yusuf? Have we said all that we can say about Show 'em?
I'm trying. My inner gear nerd is out. I'm like,
oh, throw it out.
What drums are Band Maid using? Because like that's a DW. It looks like a. Is that a collector series? I don't think it is. But it's a DW of some kind. The Lugsy collector or Scream collector. I'm not sure. And I'm like, what could these drums be? I'm trying to think now. This is just like Yusuf side tangent. If God forbid, if we ever make a Patreon page, Manuel and I are just making a gear specific video for like every band we talk about, because we could go on for like 2 hours about that.
I mean, we could. The better question is: there any way that this song could be converted into jazz, Yusuf?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's not hard. You have a melody, you have a chord progression. There's no like.
Manuel will be pleased.
Look, man. Just because I have a fancy ass master's degree in jazz does not mean I am all knowing of things jazz. Yet.
Or is it more that you could breadcrumb your way back into jazz from any song? Is the real question. That's what I mean. Thought.
Yes, but we're not getting into that now.
I know. I might have set you up for a success or failure on that one, depending on your perspective. But yes, I think that has been the Airborne Sea Life reaction to this particular song.
Yeah, this has been Band Maid plus the warning. We're on, obviously you find us here on YouTube. We can't really do Spotify, I realized, because having the reactions make no sense audibly. Then, you know what I mean?
I mean, maybe we do some kind of follow-up podcast if that's something people would want to see, where we break other things down.
Yeah, but, we could do that. But until then, we are Airborne Sea Life. I'm Yusuf. That's Brendan. I almost said I'm Brendan. That's Manuel.
And I'm Yusuf. Anyway, please feel free to like, subscribe, share what we've got. If you have anything you would want us to react to, please leave that in the comments or reach out to us at airbornesealife@gmail.com and throw us stuff. If you want us to react to your music, if you are a band somewhere in the tri-state area of New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, or up in Canada, or anywhere, just throw us a link to things. Maybe we throw you up on the show.
And please, of course, wish Manuel the best as he tries to overthrow the Slovaks.
Last seen riding on the back of Magneto, rising up on the Slovakian Capitol building.
Can I ask a question before we end this podcast?
Always.
Ian McKellen Magneto?
Ooh, that's a good, or Fassbender Magneto.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? He's flying on the back of an elderly gay British actor, and he's flying up the steps like Sir Ian McKellen's flying Superman style, and Manuel is just sitting cross-legged, crisscross applesauce on his back with his arms folded.
But for some reason, McKellen, despite being called Magneto, is dressed as Gandalf.
I would.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.